Chapter 29 For loops. Python uses different types of loops to perform different actions. For loops repeat code a special number of items. Loop. Code used to repeat a sequence of commands. Formatting for loops. The for loop follows a very specific format. Even the number of spaces you use on certain lines is important. Steps for creating for loops. Step 1. Enter the keyword for. For loops always start with for to show that the following code is a for loop. Step 2. Name the counter variable. This variable's value increases each time the loop repeats. For example, if you are using for loop that loops 10 times, starting with 0 and increasing by 1 each time the loop starts over. The counter variable will represent 0 in the first run, then in, then 1 in the next run, then 2, then 3, and so on, increasing by 1 each time the loop starts over. You can name the counter variable anything you want. Many programmers name their counter variable I out of tradition. Step 3. Add the keyword in to show that you are about specify how many times the loop should repeat. Step 4. Set the number of times the loop should repeat. Use the range function to do this. The range function will count from 0 up to, but not including, the number listed in the function's parentheses. Range defines where a count starts and one number should be counted by. The parameters include start, stop, step. The start and stop parameter name the start and the stop numbers for the count. The step parameters tell how much the counter should count by. For example, range 4, 13, 4 will count from 4 to 12, the number before the stop number, and increment of 4. The number count in this range are 4, 8, 12. Step 5. And the first line of the for loop with a colon. Here for a for loop with a counter variable name I, count by 1 from 0 up to 3 looks like. 4 started 4, name the counter variable, add in, range 3, specify how many items the loop will repeat, add a colon. Below the first line of the for loop, add the code to be repeated. Intend the code to be repeated by pressing by tab key on the keyboard once or by using the spacebar to add 4 spaces. In Python, the indent indicates that the code on that line is part of the code above it. You can add a print function to the loop by starting a new line and indenting in the same way. For example, you could add a print function that displays heap array. For I in range 3, print heap array. Insert the code you want to repeat it. Intend 1 tab, 4 space. This will print heap array. You can add code that runs after the loop has finished running. To do that, start a new line that's not indented like this. For I in range 3, print heap array in the loop, print congratulations out the loop. This will print Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, congratulations. Every time you create a for loop, you also create a new variable that counts the number of the time the loop is repeated. That means the variable can be used within the repeated code. In the previous example, the variable I was used in the for loop. Printing the value of I before hip hip hooray shows how the value increased each time the loop is run. For I in range 3, print I hip hip hooray. This will print 0 hip hip hooray, 1 hip hip hooray, 2 hip hip hooray. Remind, the range function start counting at 0. Stopped counting before the number set in the parentheses. In the display out, the I variable value in the first run of the loops is 0, and the last run shows I having the value of 2. The count variable can be used to count in other ways. For example, you could make a countdown to do this. Subtract the count variable from 10, and the computer will display the countdown from 10 to 1. For in the range 10, print 10 minus 1. This will print 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The range function is set to 10, but can go as high as you want it to. You can use the other parameters in the range function to count by 2s between 2 and 8. For I in range 2, start at this number, and before this number, count step by this number. This will print 2, 4, 6, 8. To print every item in a list like fruits, use this code: fruits, pears, orange, mango, cherries, bananas, apples. For I in range 6, print fruits, last name, item in list. The word print pears, orange, mangoes, cherries, bananas, apples. There's an easier way to loop through an entire list without having to know exact length of the list. Instead of using the range function, use the list itself, and the loop will run the same amount of times as the number of items in the list. Instead of being a number, the count variable value will be set to each item of the list as it steps through the entire list. To print every fruit in the fruits list, replace range with the list name. Fruits, pears, orange, mango, cherries, bananas, apples. For in fruits, use the list name instead of range. Print I. The variable value of the I is the list item, not the number.